hey, man, you need to back up off of me, man. You too close. Telling you, man. Back up. And slow down once, man. You gonna end up running into the back of me and messing us both up. Big City Living, man. Road to Riches podcast, man. Stop tailgating, man. What's going on with y'all, man? Let's get into this one, man. Road to Riches podcast, man. Yeah, man, yeah. That's right. I said it. Back up off me. Back up off me, man. You too close. You know. Now, I know it's a beautiful thing, man, when you have life that keeps on giving. You know, I needed an episode this week, and was having a conversation last night with an associate of mine, right? And, you know, I don't want to put the person out there like that, but, you know, this person, you know, forwarded me some information about, you know, an up-and-coming filmmaker and what this young girl is doing in her little up-and-coming, not little, but what she's doing in her lane. She's in her lane, traveling, and, you know, just looking at this scenario, a lot of times, man, we find ourselves looking at other people's journey, I think, a little too close. And so the person that sent me the information, the picture, you know, of this girl's post, I was like, hey, you know, I had to just put out a clear statement to this person. Stop sending me other people's journeys, pictures of their journeys and what they're doing in their lane. I'm trying to drive in my own lane, man. See what I'm saying? And I said, as a matter of fact, you are riding right behind this person so closely. Why don't you go work for them? Why don't you go sit up under them? You idolize this person. And of course, you know, the resistance came back, or in a sense, the rebuking came back from that statement. But I was dead serious. I was like, look, I don't want to follow nobody that close, man. You know what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is, as we start this episode, you'll understand why. But are you following too close to somebody, man? Are you following and tailgating right up underneath somebody? That person gonna slam on brakes, man. And you already know about accidents. So let's get into this episode, man. Big City Living, man. Change lanes. Slow down, or just back the up off me. Need to back up, man. That's just on my word, man. Back up off me. That's what that person's saying, that you finna rear in, man. You know. Let's get into it, y'all. Big City Living, man. Road to Riches podcast. You should have already subscribed, followed, and shared this thing at this point. If you haven't, that's the call to action, baby. Big City Living, man. Yeah, man. That is right. Absolutely right, man. There's these famous YouTubers that I used to follow. I kind of follow them. I just kind of recently started watching some of their videos again here as of late. You know, the Hodge Twins. I don't know if you ever heard of the Hodge Twins, but the Hodge Twins, they used to have a channel called Twin Muscle Workout, where, you know, they was documenting their fitness journey and all of that good stuff, man. But at the beginning of the videos, you know, the reason why I bring them up, at the beginning of their videos, they would be, in a sense, competing for the camera. And it was hilarious because, you know, they both profiling in front of the cameras, competing for their space to shine in the camera. And one guy would always be like, man, back up off me, man. Back up off me. You know, once we start the Patreon, man, we'll start that'll be the cussing channel. But nonetheless, that was the declaration, man, back up off me, man. You know, give me some room. You know? And anytime that people are following and somebody's journey that close, you know, life itself is going to tell you to back up off them. Back up off of them, man. You know everywhere they go. You know every merchandise they done bought. You know what they eat and do for a living. You know when they wake up. You know, and I'm gonna have to use myself as the example, which is what I did in the conversation last night. I say, hey, stop sending me this girl's information and her pictures and photos and who reached out to her and all of this stuff, because I have a very strong recollection of recall of myself doing this, following. You know, and I mentioned the guy's name. I throw him out there once again, man. You know, one of the top producers in the game right now, Will Packer. Early 2000s, man. You know, when I met Will, church media ministry and all of that, you know, I made a decision to do my own thing, to go as, you know, drive in my own lane. But for some reason, the lane that I had chose to drive, you know, I wasn't moving nowhere near the speed Will was moving, man. I mean, it seemed like as soon as I said, yeah, man, me and my boy, we starting our own production company. We doing our own thing. Y'all hot right now, but we finna blow up too. It's like Will Packer took that and catapulted himself to another dimension. You see what I'm saying? And I became, I don't even know what word choice to use, but I became somewhat mesmerized and drawn to this guy. You know what I'm saying? That I followed every move that he made, every radio station he was on. Oh man, he on Frank Ski this morning. Oh man, he talking to, you know, this person and that person. He on Tom Joyner. You know, if you're older than 15 years old, man, well, I'll say 20 years old, 25 years old. If you're older than that, you know, Tom Joyner and Frank Ski here in Atlanta, you know, Steve Harvey. You know, these were some top dogs, man. I don't know about the radio game as of right now, but I know Tom Joyner and Steve Harvey and all of these jokers, man. That was some of the biggest shows you could ever be on, man. You know what I'm saying? Creative loafing. I remember that was the first time I really tailed behind and was really watching Will's journey catapult. He was on the cover of Creative Loafing, and he jumped up. This is how close I was following behind him, that I can describe to you what he was doing on the cover of Creative Loafing from about 15, 20 years ago. This is crazy. He is jumping, and they catch him mid-jump on the cover of Creator Loafing, and they was saying how high this producer has gotten in the game. And I was like, man, he on the cover of Creator Loafing. Oh, man, he working with such and such, man. Oh, man, his new movie is this. His other movie is that. Oh, man, he got Chris Brown in the movie. Oh, man, he working with Beyonce now, y'all. And what I remember is what I exactly told the young lady that I was speaking to last night. You know, I was like, hey, stop sending me this stuff because I don't want to follow somebody's journey. I did it one time before, and this is how it worked out for me. And the reason for this whole episode, man, you know, I started telling her about my Will Packard story and what happened. I looked up, and 10 years had passed since I was in the same lane with him, talking to him, you know, networking with them, working with some of the same people he was working with. You know, we was all in the same playing field at that time, man. And when he catapulted it, you know, took off in his lane, you know, I was in my lane, but I kept looking and started tailgating. I left my car in the lane and followed him for 10 years. And I looked up, and when I looked back, I was like, oh, snap. I myself haven't been moving at all. I've been riding the coattail, the tailwind of this highly successful film producer. And I look back in my rearview mirror, and I see my car still sitting I'm talking about, man, my car was way back there, man. Right there at the starting point. See what I'm saying? I look up, Will Packard is, you know, went from the top 10 film producers, well, top 10 black film producers. I remember that magazine too. He was like top 10 black film producer. And he came in right around where Will Smith was at. And I was like, good grief, him, Tyler Perry, Will Smith. I'm like, God, no, man. To today, you know, Will Packard now, man, is like one of the top, if not top 5 producers in Hollywood, period. Based on a lot of different factors, but you know, shout out to Will Packard, man. For real. Shout out to Will Packard. You know, he's hosting the he's producing the Academy Awards this year. So I think he's caught up in that. So he's on bigger and better things. Oprah Winfrey, you know, and this list goes on and on, man. Just Google Will Packard, you'll find out. You know, I think you really are somebody when you have a GIF, a GIF emoji thing. If you have a few of them, you somebody. You done reached some level of success if you have a GIF. Oh, man. But what are the dangers, man? You know, what are the dangers of following somebody? We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about the dangers of following somebody else's journey that close, you know. And we'll distinguish what I'm really talking about, because it's always good to have mentors and role models and stuff like that. But following, like I'm talking about tailgating, says something else about your journey and what you have going on. So let's take a quick break. We'll be right back, y'all. Big City Living, man. Road to Riches.
I will be right by your side. Women can have it all, including heart attacks.
But symptoms like jaw pain, nausea, unusual fatigue, dizziness, and backache are often different and more subtle than for a man. The fact is, heart disease is the #1 killer of women. Know the signs. Learn more at getheartchecked.org. From Women's Heart Alliance, in partnership with Womenheart.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Deb. I thought you were the radon test guys.
The who test guys?
Didn't you see the papers Sunday? The Surgeon General issued another lung cancer warning.
Oh, like the cigarette warning?
Yeah, they're saying we have to get our houses tested for radon.
I don't smell any radon in my house.
That's because radon is an odorless, colorless, tasteless gas that seeps into your house from underground.
Does this story have a happy ending?
Yeah, you'll be a lot happier once you get your house tested.
Learn more. Visit the EPA at epa.gov/radon. That's epa.gov/radon.
Man, we back up in here, man. The second segment, man. The tailgating. You need to back up off me, man. You too close. Life is telling you, you need to back up off this person. You are too close. You see what I'm saying? Back up off this person, man. And the reason why life, in a sense, does that before we do the recap, man, it's like brake lights, man. The brake lights are telling you, like, hey, you're too close, man. Start slowing down, man. That's a warning sign. You're another driver trying to ride the coattail or the tail bumper, the bumper of another driver, man. So the recap, man, you know, listen, you paying attention to this thing, man. You know, I spoke about my experiences tailgating somebody else's career so close that, like, I knew what they was probably doing before they knew. You know what I'm saying? And I look up and I realize that I left my car literally at the starting point. I wasn't even driving. I was deceived. I thought I was driving. But I actually had jumped out of my car and held on to, you know, this guy's bumper, his back bumper. I just held on to it and was just riding along with him, you know? So life is always telling you giving you certain messages, man. So I at this point in my life, I've lived that journey, man. I've wasted probably, I ain't gonna even say it was 10 years. It might have been more like 4 to 6 years, which is entirely too long. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen people who worked with him, not looked at him work, but worked with him and has succeeded too at a high level. You know, Matthew Cherry, just to throw his name out there, he came out of the Wheel Packer internship camp. You know, of course, you know, he doing the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, directing that. You know what I'm saying? Here's a beautiful analogy, man. You know, before I even started this episode, I knew the #1 cause of accident, or the #1 accident in an automobile that you could have. Like, I knew that just by being a driver. You like to take a guess? It's the rear end collision, man. See what I'm saying? A rear end collision. And that in itself is a message. Why do people have rear end collisions, man? You know, I'm gonna tell you why. Because you're in whatever lane that car is in front of you, whatever speed they going, and you tailgating them, you all up on them like that, you know, and they suddenly stop. You so focused on this person's journey this person idolizing their car. Look at the rims on it. Oh, look at that bumper sticker, man. It says something fascinating. You see what I'm saying? You so caught up on what this car is doing in front of you that you don't even see the car. You just captivated by the car, you know? Next thing you know, that car might come to a complete stop, man. And your momentum of following them that close has caused you to run into the back of them. You see what I'm saying? Now, 9 times out of 10, I done seen a lot of rear-end collisions. 9 times out of 10, the person that gets hit from behind, their car really isn't that messed up. You see what I'm saying? That's if the person behind them hit brakes. Now, sometimes the person behind them don't hit brakes, and then you get that, you know, that 5% rear-end collision where it's like, you know, on a more severe level. Yeah, it's on a more severe level because when that car stops and then you try to hit on brakes, your car actually goes down and hits kind of in a sense underneath the car in front. But, you know, not to get beside the point, that's the danger in following somebody too close, man. And trust me, we live in a world now where all we do is tailgate, man. All we tend to do is tailgate and look at the car in front of us. Social media has created a disaster roadway, man. A disaster roadway, man. You see what I'm saying? You just think about this. Take Spaghetti Junction, take whatever they call the interconnections in Houston, Chicago, New York, throw it all in LA, and just combine all of those intersections and highways together in one little small scenario, and that you have social media, man. You have way too many people tailgating and looking at the other person's journey, man. Following their journey, every move they make, what they eating, who they with, who they sleeping with, what clothes they done bought, you know, where they go to church at. Man, I don't, listen, it's not good, man. I'm just gonna be real. It's really not good. It's like you're not present to your own life. You know, and that's why we run into the back of people all of the time. We tailgating, man. You know, back up off me, man. See what I'm saying? Back up off that person, man. You know, one of the solutions that I had, the only solution I have for the entire episode, man. You know, as a drive-away driver, and I didn't explain that a couple of times in a couple of other episodes, but as a drive-away driver, I'm pulling 2 or 3 trucks behind me. See what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful analogy if you really pay attention to what I'm saying. You know, if you, like the suggestion that I made to my friend was, since you idolize this person that much, since you always on their social media trying to figure out what they doing next, who done came to their office and their studio and cameras that they got, and she finna buy a house, and I'm like, man, good. Listen, why don't you go work with this person? Why don't you connect your energy to this person? And that's what Drive-Away is all about. We pull other vehicles, man. So I'm driving a brand new commercial truck, but I'm pulling 3 more behind me. See what I'm saying? And so my suggestion wasn't to be mad or mean or anything like that. It was a real solution. Like, hey, this is somebody that you look up to, evidently. Why don't you go give your time to this person? Because as they driving, you can connect yourself to them. And I hope when I put the image on the screen, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm pulling 2 to 3 other vehicles behind me. That's what an internship is, man. That's what volunteering is all about, and assisting around somebody who is driving at that rate of speed. Could you imagine if I had linked on to Will Packer? You know, if I wasn't going to drive my own car. See, I told him I was going to do my own thing, and he pushed the gas and started driving. And he probably was doing it because he was like, hey, man, this guy might take my spot. I see his vision. I ain't trying to say I'm the reason why he catapulted the way he is, but, you know, you just never know what somebody's mindset is at. But at the same time, you know, Will Packer offered or extended because I'm just that's the kind of guy he is from that I remember. You know, he was creating a community and support. So as he driving, he was like, just connect to the back of me and I'll pull you along, teach you the game. You know what I'm saying? And just like I told my friend last night, I don't regret not accepting that offer. You know, his hindsight is always 20/20. You look back and be like, oh man, golly, man, you know, I should have blah, 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 blah. But literally at that exact moment, we were in the same zip code, so to speak, in the driving lane. Like, you know, everybody in the community of the filmmaking community was like, you know, y'all got next, or y'all right there with him. You know what I'm saying? And him and his count. So keep doing what you're doing, you finna blow up. So it wasn't even no shot against anybody. It was more so like, I don't really need to tag along when I'm already doing, we're already at our, you know, maintaining the same speed. We stuck in traffic together, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get through some little roadblocks and things like that. And he found his way out of the roadblock. And by me getting out of my car and holding on to his bumper, you know, I would say that's the difference. But at the end of the day, you hit a point, man. Stop following that closely behind people and their journeys, man. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're willing to connect to them and support them. See, that's the real solution, man. Are you willing to support that person that you're shocking? That's a PG-13 word. You jocking them that hard, man. Why don't you connect with them and support them? Why don't you extend your services to them and say, hey, man, you know what? I've been following you. I idolize you. You're my hero. Man, I just want to get in and serve coffee if I need to. Run your clothes to the cleaners. You know, people don't like to hear stuff like that, man. But that's the real solution. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to drive your own car, because there's no way that you're driving. If you're following somebody that close, it automatically tells me that you're not driving your own vehicle, man. And if you is driving, you're so spaced out, you're not present. That's why you're going to end up crashing into the back of somebody. And then you're going to mess up both cars, man. You're going to mess up my car. So somebody who was probably tailgating Will Packer that ain't got the same kind of love, because the dude blessed me, man, on so many different occasions. See, I only can speak beautiful things about Will Packer, man, because that guy really sat down and taught me some real things, man. See what I'm saying? But somebody else might look at, you know, they might have caught him in a different zip code than when I caught him. And they followed behind him and they ran into the back of it and they didn't like what they got out of the scenario. And then they started hating on Will Packer. They started hating and saying all of these hateful things. See, that's running into the back of somebody right there. It don't go the way you thought it was gonna go. Now I got to try to throw out some shade on their name. You know what I'm saying? There's a guy in Atlanta, has a big studio I interned for a few days. You know, I literally rear-ended and was trying to join this cause to, you know, say some all this kind of stuff too, man. But, you know, at the end of the day, I started realizing, like, that guy didn't do anything to me. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do anything to me, man. You know, not directly. Who he did directly to tripled that the impact of the collision when he hit on brakes and them writers and producers ran into the back of him and it boom, 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 boom. Some writers, you know, and producers, I was tailgating, you know, with this guy. And next thing you know, I blamed there. I'm like, man, everybody following too close, man. But, you know, you get the point. At the end of the day, stop following behind people like that close, man. Because it doesn't serve anything, man. If you say you a driver, or if you say you a producer or a writer, and you ain't out here doing that, and you following somebody else, you coasting, you're tailgating. Stop tailgating. Pay attention. Pay attention to the road, man. Because even with that hate, another part of that analogy, you know, this person might go over the hill and you driving so close behind them, like you don't see what the drivers see that's in front of you. But when you do get a chance to see it, like when you know, you go over the hilltop and you see the sun setting, you're like, oh man, you should have slowed down and went to the right. You know, now you telling that person what they should have did. See what I'm saying? That's hate. That's how the hate starts. You know, we already know what hate is, man. That's bad fuel, man. You know, so that's why I had to, in a sense, she's one of the 5 people that listens to the show, so. And I think I told her in the moment, I said, man, that's an episode, tailgate. She's one of the 5 people that listen to the show, so it don't even really matter, man. At the end of the day, stop tailgating. If you say you are a writer, a producer, a model, an entrepreneur, if you're not supporting that person you tailgating, man, you need to let go, man. Slow down. You know, stop tailgating. Hit your brakes and go at your own pace. Book a session with these people, man. That's what Kevin Samuels always say. Hey, man, book a session. Talk to them. Ask them, can they be your mentor? Ask them, do they offer coaching or blueprints? Can I buy something from you? Can I support what you're doing to help me? You know? But that's it, man. Like, look, man, stop tailgating. You already know what it is, man. Road to Riches podcast, Big City Living, man. We through with this one, man. And back up off me, man.